Welcome to WGK Glass Art, everyone. Thank you for joining us here in the studio. Today, Sandra is going to be demonstrating on how we make our toucans.
Exactly. So we have 3 different sizes in toucans, right? So we are going to do the big one, and it has a 3-colored beak, and it's pretty colorful in itself, you will see. So it all starts with black and yellow in this case. We do them with yellow bellies and we do them with white bellies, but this one gets a yellow belly. So that's the second color that I need for the body itself. So as with all the birds, we start collecting a bit of the glass that we need, the main glass.
Yep, and on the preheater, you see, as usual, Sandra is melting or preheating the yellow glass, which would be the belly.
Yeah, that's a pretty explosive color usually.
Oh my.
Does that mean so I want to make sure it's a bit tricky. Always the opaque colors are a bit tricky. So you don't really have to preheat the transparent ones usually. But the opaque ones, I definitely would recommend that you, when you use them, that you preheat them. Otherwise, it's just a lot of mess, and you will burn yourself for sure. So they have their advantages, but you have to learn how to deal with them. So there is the amount of black glass that I need. I think it's almost enough. And I can take that off. And what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to sort of fold it in half. And then I'm adding the yellow for the belly. Oh, and I need the red on top. Red on the preheater. So the yellow I'm adding right now is of course the yellow for the belly, but the intention at this point is to make sure that the yellow really stretches into back into the area where the tail is attached later on, because that's usually hard to add colors later on. So I just want to make sure that the rear part of the whole bird is really nice looking. And then I need to pull a little bit. That's gonna be the point where I'm attaching the tail feathers. And the center tail feather is in red.
You guys can find the toucans on our website at wgkglass.com.
Right.
Or on our Etsy page, which is ETSY, and that is WGK Glass Art. And if you like what you're watching, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
So that is the center feather on there. It looks black right now, but it's gonna turn yellow. It's gonna turn red again once it has cooled down a bit.
Yeah, and the belly actually looks a little red too.
It looks more orangey,
Orange,
I think,
yeah.
but that's what it does. The yellow
When it's
does.
hot, yeah.
When it's bright, hot, bright, glowing, really, then it's more reddish, and then it goes into orange, and later back to yellow.
Right, as you see here on the preheater, the tip that's in the flame is orange, and the rest is yellow.
There's actually also colors. We don't have them from the checks, but there is also colors that really stay, that changed. There used to be a yellow made in Lauscher that turned orange too when you worked it, but it stayed orange.
Okay.
So it kind of, you could have that different shades of yellow and orange with that color. That was interesting too.
That is pretty interesting. But with the raw material itself was yellow?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I took the front off and I added the handle on the tail. And what I'm doing right now is I'm going on there again with the yellow. And now I'm focusing on the front part of the body, because now I want to make sure that the whole yellow color goes from the belly into the head. Yeah. So if you see me looking over here, I just want to make sure that I'm doing the right colors, because they have so many different colors that I always have to make sure that they are on the preheater at least. But right now it's just focusing on yellow, red, black, and I need the red again for the wings, which is up next. Okay, so I added some yellow on the front. Now I can slowly stretch it a bit. That it gets into that shape that I want, but I'm still missing some black on top. So this is a longer process really to get all the color where I want it to be. Here we are. That's what it should look like. And now I kind of try to push it a bit here and there without forming it too much, because usually I just let the gravity and the flame form the piece. That makes it much more interesting and nature-like. So here's the body so far. As you can see, it looks more orangey red, but it's gonna go back to yellow. And now I can start adding the wings. So there is a first thing I'm gonna do is adding the wing tip, where I'm attaching the wings itself. It's just a little, the first part in general. Okay. So there is one. Here is the second one, and this is the moment where I always have to check from the front that the wings go a little up and nicely to the outside and not about the same height, not one down, one up. That would just look messy in the end. But that would be the moment to change those things.
It would look more like it's like it's gliding sideways.
Yeah.
almost.
Well, you can still use it, the messed up piece. You just have to make it look like it was intended to be that way.
Right. And it's all on the eye
That
of
would
the beholder.
that would be then one of a kind, I suppose. Okay, so I added a wing, and I added it quite far to the front because the beak is gonna be quite big and it's gonna be heavy, and even though on a real bird it might not be that heavy, it's gonna pull the front down.
Right. Their beaks are normally larger anyway. in
They are
proportion to their
larger. I
body.
could imagine that they are really heavy as well for the bird, but I suppose it's used to it, so it doesn't know.
Mhm.
And there
And
comes
if
the
it
red.
sounds like we're in a war zone, guys, we're not. There's, we are near an airport where they use that area for upcoming police and training as a shooting range. So sorry about the background noise.
Yeah,
It's every
sometimes
Tuesday.
sometimes they shoot quite a lot.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not used to that, you're kind of, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So was that the red that you just attached?
I added a red, yes. It's always the second feather on the wing. From inside, counted from inside. Second one I'm attaching. So I'm getting a little bigger the further outside I get. And there is your first wing. This is the moment to check from the front. Yep, works. Good. And then I have to reheat the body again. That's important too. When you work with an opaque color, make sure it stays hot as long as you need it. So I need to work on the head later on, and for that reason I need the whole body to really stay nice and bright orange at least. Otherwise it's gonna fall apart. This is the trick with the soft glass, really, to know how to heat it up and where to heat it up and how long it stays hot before it falls apart, which we don't want, of course. Second wing. Now comes the red. And you see that it really goes back to red. You see it on the tail already, and on the other wing it starts to go back to red. one more. There is the other wing. Now I need to go on the body again. Again, give it a lot of heat in there, just from the belly out, from the belly, a little to the sides, maybe, just to get some heat back in. Making sure that I don't touch the wings again, because those should not move again. And that's enough. So what color do we need first? The blue. The blue needs to go on first. So this is a color that I pulled a bit thinner already, so I don't have to preheat it, because there is not so much room on the preheater with all these colors. But pulling it thin will work just the same. And I'm putting on a little blob and just press it flat on both sides. And then I'm adding a little bit of the green inside. And black. Where's the black? There is some black. So there are your eyes. And then we need the orange. Now comes the beak itself, and that's a bit complex to do because it has 3 colors in there, and I have to add one at a time. So I'm adding the orange. It looks a bit weird right now, but it's gonna work. And then there is green on top, and I'm filling that up right on top of the head. The whole area needs to be filled with green now. I hope you can see that. I can't, there is the flame, I can't go over there. Sorry. I'm burning myself. Sorry. I can't get any closer. I can show you from the side, but I can't get any.
Go under the flame.
Under the flame?
Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then there was the preheat.
So many
it's a bit
danger zones.
Hot in my area over here, yeah. Anyway. Now I need a black stripe in between. Oh, and I need a red on top again. I forgot. Black stripe. And I always have to melt it in quite nice before I continue and get it into shape, so it really melts together with the rest that's already there. So now we need a red. And
you're constantly twisting it because it's still hot and you need to keep it balanced, right?
Yeah, yeah. Even though it's quite stiff on the bird itself, it's still hot, and it tends to sometimes still move a bit. And then it's also, what you also do is you still look at it for imperfections, for things that you have to watch out for. So you always want to watch that bird, all the
All
sides,
around,
all
yeah.
around, yeah.
Makes sense. You
The
wanna
better you get. I mean, it's really holding it just in one position, you don't see it really, what's going on, and you want to see all the details. I'm trying to form the front of the tail of the beak now. And I still need a little tip, little black tip. Okay, so, and there is the 3-colored beak. Now I can show you a bit closer. And then we can take it off. And I can show you how it hangs. Let's see. The hook. The hook. There it is. See? That's how it should be. So the beak's kind of pulling it, the front down a little bit. That's why you have to have the hook a bit more to the front. There you are.
all done?
All done.
Cool.
That was our bird.
Thank you guys for joining us today. Make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Here it is.
Can we put it back on the hook again? Is it still hard? Where's your hook? Come on, put it on the hook.
You want to put it on the hook? There it is.
Yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, and we'll see you soon.